Hey, what's going on, all my friends out there? I'm Jakejames Lugo, and welcome to the channel. So let's talk about this situation that's been developing with Brash Games. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I'll have some links in the description box below. But to kind of summarize everything in one neat little package, Brash Games is this gaming website that does a lot of reviews and editorials and podcasts and videos and all this different type of stuff. Here's the big problem though. It came out recently within the last couple of weeks, I want to say, where a bunch of the writers had come out and openly talked about on Twitter and other forms of social media that the website was not only not paying their writers and kind of taking a lot of the work that they did and snubbing them and kind of like, taking the credit for a lot of the different work that writers, freelancers and stuff have been doing, but also actively snubbing a lot of the writers that decided to leave. When they decided to kind of get away from the website and actually go off to do other things or maybe freelance for other websites, the actual EIC, the editor-in-chief of the site, I forgot his name at the current moment, but again, all the details will be in the description box. He decided to not only remove their editorials, but also remove their names from some of the work that they did, which is totally messed up. The reason why I'm talking about this is because this is the type of stuff that really gets on people's nerves and really kind of, germinates this distrust of the gaming media. A lot of people seem to be under the impression that a lot of different bigger websites, or just gaming websites in general, people that write editorials, people that write reviews, people that do podcasts, people that openly critique video games in the media, that places like IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, Waypoint, etc. A lot of people have this real big distrust for them because they feel like they're either corrupt, they feel like they're either being paid off, they have all these different crazy notions about what's going on in the games media, for the most part, completely untrue. But it's these types of situations that kind of perpetuate that rumor and that falsehood, that stereotype of what we've seen kind of come to light over the last 2 years. I think it's really messed up. I've been in the position before where I've not been paid for the work that I've done, or I've been kind of snubbed for the outlet that I've actually been writing for. It happened to me years ago when I first started getting into the games industry, when I was starting to actually build up my portfolio in writing and I started to go to a lot more events and stuff. It's not a fun place to be in. It's not only super frustrating, especially when you're not being paid for the hard work you're trying to put into it. It's not easy to write about video games, whether it's reviews, whether it's giving opinions, or anything of the sort. It's very tough. It's much like any other pastime, much like any other hobby, much like any other job that's out there. It requires a lot of time, patience, effort, and thought to be put into it in order to make something really special and really good. This is why I give a lot of benefit of the doubt to a lot of the bigger websites out there that are creating content actively almost every single day. The common person doesn't really understand that. And again, it's these types of situations with Brash Games that make it all the more worse. To kind of expand a little bit upon the actual Brash Games story, again, all the links in the description box below. I'm going to keep referring to that because I think it's good source material, and even Jim Sterling not too long ago did a really good video that kind of summarized everything in its entirety. But basically, the editor-in-chief, once he got called out for this, once he got put on blast by a bunch of different writers that were kind of dealing with this and really openly talking about it to expose him, he not only went on the defensive, but he started actively going around trying to wipe away a bunch of stuff that was kind of evidence, or at least, indications of some of the kind of shadiness that he was a part of. Not only involving a bunch of casino websites, which is a whole nother discussion in and of itself, but also some of the editorials and articles that were posted up on Brash Games' website. Now, it's already messed up that you got caught, but when you're actively going out there and trying to wipe out different stuff, it only makes the thing that much more worse. It's the, the Streisand effect. If you guys know what the Streisand effect is when you actually try to, try to push something away from the public eye, the public just gets more curious about it and just actively looks into it. Now, besides that, things got even worse recently when a couple of the writers, some of which that, were open about, different mental illnesses that they have and different types of stuff that they dealt with while trying to write for the website, the editor-in-chief actually went on his website and put this whole statement out there openly attacking some of the mental illness that some of his writers had, blaming that rather than taking responsibility for his actions. That is a huge no-no. That is a huge misstep. That is a huge violation and disrespect to a lot of the writers that put a lot of time and effort to producing content for your website. It not only shows a failure on his part to not only take responsibility for his writers, but also to run a website in its entirety. Again, I go back to the same thing, I'll keep repeating it because it's a real true statement. This is the type of bullshit that really perpetuates the stereotype about games media and the type of stuff that people latch onto for the distrust of either the gaming media or just media in general. It takes people like me and a lot of other good individuals out there that are part of the games media that really, we have to put a lot of effort into kind of showing people like, listen, not all people are like that, and definitely that's not the majority of people that are in the gaming industry, let alone the games media. A lot of people like myself technically not only have a real good heart and a real genuine place where we come from for all the content that we do, but whenever there's something bad that happens or when we mess up and stuff, we own up to it. We take responsibility, not only as responsible adults, but also as responsible human beings. And this is something that we've seen a clear lack of with Brash Games. Brash Games is a complete mess right now. It's a disaster. It's a really bad garbage truck on fire. Kind of funny reference if you know what I'm talking about. But a really bad example of that, and it's a shame, and they should be condemned for what they've done to a lot of the people that were working over there. With that being said though, that's just my thoughts on the whole Brash Games debacle. This is some really important stuff that should be called out, should be discussed openly, because I feel like it's really terrible when people are out here in this industry, like myself, trying to make it, trying to actually forge their own path and trying to actually get out there and produce content, build up their portfolio and stuff, and have to deal with bullshit like this. It's a real crappy place to be. And again, spoken from personal experience from having gone through something like that, with other outlets and stuff, it's not fun. It's a real tough thing to get out of. It's a real tough thing to deal with, especially when you don't have a lot of support that's around you. But either way, guys, let me know in the comments section what you guys think about all this stuff. Let me know about, again, gaming media, how you feel about it, different video game websites that you visit frequently, some of your emotions about Brash Games in particular, if you know anything about it. And don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for all my gaming vlogs that I post up here on YouTube. I have a bunch of stuff that I've been posting up lately. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Got some even more interesting content that's coming very, very soon. There'll be a bunch of links in the description box to some of my past vlogs, as well as also some interesting content I think you guys are going to like. With that being said, I will talk to all of you guys again real soon. Peace out, stay epic, everybody.